Hello everybody and welcome to your podcast Mind the Time. My name is Fintan Harvey, joined by, we have Circus Shannon today, not Brandy Mahan.
Hello!
What is the crack, Circa?
The crack is mighty. I'm delighted that Brandy can't make it today because I'm very excited about today's guest.
Yay! And of course we also have Sean Carey.
We do indeed. How are you?
What's happening, Sean?
All good. All
Good.
good. I'm very well. How are you? Fun. Nobody ever asked how you're doing.
Nobody ever
So,
asked how Fintan's doing. Do you know what? I'm doing grand, Sean. Thank you
Thanks,
very
Sean.
much. Yeah, let's just mix it up a bit.
Aye.
Let's just go
See
mad.
this. Aye.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit there someday.
I love the way you asked me and all I had to say was I'm grand. I'm not used to being asked, you see. I'm not used to it.
Well, you're welcome.
Well,
I will ask more often.
it's lovely to have you both here. Even though it's
Thank
your
you.
house, Sean. So our guest today is an absolute legend. He's a librarian, a taxidermist, and circus performer. It is, of course, Mr. Denzil Browne.
Lovely to be here.
And Denzil,
Nice to be asked.
Welcome.
how are you, my friend?
I'm all good. Very good.
Good.
Just back from holiday, all rested,
So you were in France.
slipping back into things. Yeah.
How was France?
It didn't rain a single drop. in
Wow. Wow. That's,
It was fantastic.
yeah. Just that alone.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't
Didn't need anything else.
How long did you go without seeing rain?
Literally 3 weeks.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I was surprised any of the pants were still alive. There you go.
Class.
Wow.
So yeah, it was
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Without rain.
And you travelled by road and by boat?
Yeah, we drove our own car over.
Amazing.
Because we had to bring a dog with us.
And
Aww.
what a beautiful wee dog it is too.
Yeah.
Mhm. And how was the journey for the doggy?
Do you know what? Actually, I was extremely apprehensive about it, but he was fantastic in the car. We had one of those wee cooling mat things.
Ah.
So he
nice.
just loved that, and he just sat in the footwell on that, popping his head up occasionally just to make sure you were still there, and by then again.
Oh.
Hours on the road. He
Wow,
was happy
fair
as-
play.
Happy as Larry. I thought it was going to be chaos.
Yeah.
Car ripped apart.
Because he's only wee, isn't he?
Yeah, he's tiny.
He's,
Absolutely tiny.
what age is he?
8 months old.
Oh.
He's only a wee whippet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Which is
A wee whippet of a thing.
a wee whippet of a thing. Yeah.
I thought they were.
That's a
I guess.
greyhound, probably.
So it's
Yeah.
like a money.
Or a
grab?
small horse. I don't know.
This is one of these
Giant,
things. I'm gonna have to Google it. A whippet.
Like greyhounds and horses, it's hard to keep track.
Oh.
Because they run on tracks. That was sorry, that's just, yeah. That's the patch.
That's just start over again.
So Denzil, you've chosen the year that the Clintons visited Derry.
Indeed, I have.
The voices look back
Wasn't
and
particularly why I chose it.
I thought you were a massive Bill Clinton fan. Is that the reason?
I'm sorry to have misled you.
Oh my god, I only thought I knew you all these years. And now I found out you're not a massive Bill Clinton fan.
Not a Democrat, sorry.
So the year 1995, what was crack in 1995? Where were you at in 1995?
Well, 1995 would have been the year I left school and went to college. So like very transformative year for me.
Ah.
Now, interestingly, because I was a lecturer in an art college for so long, to me, years don't go from January to December. They go from September to June.
Yeah.
You know, an academic year is to me a year. So for me, I'm thinking more 94, 95, but I'm going with 95 because kind of more happened.
Yeah.
We'll allow it.
Same here.
Yeah.
Is that exciting?
But yeah, it would have been that basically, it was the year I left school, so I went from Portora in Enniskillen, and I did not fit in at school, basically. Nobody got me.
Not a lot of taxidermy happening.
Did not fit in. I was just the total outsider, misfit, absolutely, completely. I think it's like, school is such a microcosm,
Yeah.
and in particular, Portora was an all-boys school.
Yes.
It was a Protestant school.
Yeah.
And it was a grammar school, so everyone's middle class. So it's
Yeah.
just this tiny little bubble.
Wow.
And they treated non-academic subjects like art and music and anything creative as just a break between proper lessons.
Oh.
You know, so that's just the way
Right.
things were. So
Yeah.
me loving all that creative stuff just did not fit in at all.
Yeah.
So
Although, isn't that school that was it? What's his name? Big,
Oscar Wilde and
Yes.
Samuel Beckett both went there, yeah.
That's
Ah.
it.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I've got that. I'm kind of proud of that.
Yeah.
Same alma mater as those
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Very proud. But, I mean, there were a few good things there. The things that I was good at, sort of art, and I don't know if you remember, back in the day, there used to be a subject called CDT, Craft Design Technology.
I used to
Right.
love
Boom! I got an A in that in my
Yeah.
I made a pencil.
fucking aced it. Yeah.
I made a
And
pencil craft design technology, sorry. I didn't really.
I printed a circuit board and made a functioning burglar alarm for my parents' house.
We had very different CDT experiences.
Apparently so. Woodwork skills that I still use today.
Oh,
Like, you know,
yeah.
and all the stuff I've built out the back of mine all stems from that.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Proper learned how to do really proper woodwork.
So there's a
Mortise and
proper
tenon
like,
joints, the
workshop
whole
and
business.
everything.
Yeah. We were casting metal. We were
My
we were
God.
melting aluminium and casting metal.
Holy
in
shit,
sand.
man.
That
Yeah.
was very different before Hill.
Using brazing torches, the whole business.
Wow.
Are you a time traveller? I
In
mean,
your
are you,
hands,
do you read a lot of books? I mean,
Stumbled across the secret there. That's just good.
whoops.
So
Sorry.
just after seeing, of course, the amazing stuff that you've built.
Mm.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
totally
so
get
I mean
that
that's where it all
came from there.
stems from. But you know, so that's like a one thing I did really, really well on. Anything academic,
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to go to art college at the end of that. I had no plan on a career or what I was going to get out of art college other than my, 17, 18-year-old rebellious self just wanted to be like, I do not want the 9-to-5 suburbia middle class existence. I do not want this at all. And so I just wanted to go to art college purely for the experience itself.
Brilliant.
So
Good stuff.
found myself starting the foundation course at the Tech in Derry.
Yes.
So 95 is the
Yeah.
year I became a dairyman.
Way!
Left everything else behind. Burned it all down. Bye-bye. Start again completely and reinvented myself.
And Derry's a better place for it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Fuck
Very
off.
grateful.
Fuck Bill Clinton. It's all about them.
Me coming in 95,
Yeah.
much more impact.
Should have been on Derry Girls. Then you should have had on Derry Girls.
Yeah.
Denzil starting his foundation.
Well, do you know
course
what?
for the tech.
I know.
When myself and Martha watched Dairy Girls when it first came on, we were just like, oh my god, 1995, the year I did Dairy, the year we met.
Yeah.
That was the year you met.
That was
That's
the
the big
other
one.
thing.
That's the really big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Met my wife, life partner, star-crossed lover, Martha, in 1995. That's 29 years so far. And I hope we have 300 more.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you will because you're
You will.
a time wizard.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, let's say that.
So what's the crowd? Where did yourself and Martha meet?
Well, let's see. So I'd start the foundation course. The foundation course at the time wasn't in the tech building. It was in, it was called Leslie House, but it was above the bus station. Basically where Sandino's upstairs is
Right.
now.
Yeah.
That's where I went
I've
to.
heard about this.
That's where I went to foundation
Amazing.
course. So it was a 1-year foundation course in art. And they just had brilliant facilities compared to what we had in school. You got to try a bit of everything. They had a fantastic photographic darkroom. That's what started me into photography. And they had brilliant silkscreen printing presses, everything. Absolutely brilliant course. Suddenly I found myself among people like me, other people who were artists and creatives, and it was just
You found your tribe.
yeah, it was absolutely astonishing.
Yeah.
So I just left everything else behind and just became the me that I am today in 1995. Yeah,
That's amazing.
that was the
Thank you
seed
for
where that all
that.
started.
Yeah.
All sort of things I did, the wearing of socks every single day,
Yeah.
the expressive bright clothes, bold patterns, bright colours, the lock around the neck, all the things I'm known for.
Was that?
That all stems. Yep. I've been wearing that since 1995.
Class. man.
No, for those of you who can't see it, it's a chain. Would you like to describe what the? Because I
Yeah.
remember
Chain
maybe
and padlock.
20 years ago when you were
Yeah.
wearing it.
In much the same way that Sid Vicious used to wear.
Has it ever been opened?
To be honest, it has. It's like Trigger's brush. There's been several different locks, several different chains. It's not the original anymore. But that's because the chain actually wears away. Eventually, my neck absorbs all the metal. And literally, one day it just fell off. The chain had worn through completely, and this just
Oh my
fell
God.
off.
Wow.
Geez, if it was a brass one, you say, geez, you have a brass neck on you.
Aye, I certainly do.
Hey.
So a lot of brass.
So, whereabouts were you living in there at that stage? So you just moved up from Enniskillen.
Yes, yeah, so moved from Enniskillen and moved into Clarendon Street. Right next door to Peter Coona's parents.
Ah.
Wow.
Okay.
And
Lead
that
singer
would
of
have been-
D-Ream, for anyone who's catching up out there.
And also that would have been around the time that like that song was
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
absolutely.
So
yeah.
you were loving the D-Ream?
Absolutely.
Living the D-Ream.
Yeah. I had to get one on.
You did, Sean. Well done. So, what was the crack with D-Ream's parents, Peter Coona?
I didn't really know them, but I do remember out the back of the house. I mean, they were just like big terraced houses, you know, Clarendon Street.
Yeah.
Nothing special about them. But I do remember out the back was parked an extremely fancy car.
Yeah. And we all
Dream
know-
money.
D-Ream money. D-Ream
I've
money.
met his dad once. I was in Sandino's about 3 years ago, drinking, and he was right beside me, and I got chatting to him. And then that's why he came out with that about a half an hour later, and I was oh, really? Lovely.
Nice.
That.
That's my stardom.
Can only get better. I didn't sing that then.
That. What was your crack with 1995, Sean? What
Oh
would
my
you have been?
God. I was
Were you
10.
born?
I was 10. I don't know. I was primary 6. I do that, but you do too. My years
Academic
start
years.
September, like. But I was 10. I don't know. I was a wee shite. in school.
Just been a wee shite.
I wasn't a wee shite. It was just for today. I was always having to do something.
Yeah.
But like Denzil, I was very creative. So that was one way to distract me. Like so.
Yeah.
I was always doing something. It's that kind of thing. It surprised me and John didn't get into this during his podcast, John Rennie, but we were always chosen. We were always, when I think back now, it seems a bit unfair, but we were always picked to do the art projects. No, if there was like a big mural needed done in the school wall or something, it was always John and I. And then another thing, it was always, every time there was an art competition, we always got either first or second. If I got first, he got second. If he got first, I got second.
Oh.
So I was just sort of doing a lot of that,
A lot of that.
a lot of art and bits and pieces. Like
That's
that.
really gorgeous. That's really
That's all I
encouraging
can
in a
remember
school
from
like to.
being 10, and then I think it was my last year that I was allowed to play with toys. So I was getting a good out. Well,
The toy police called round?
Yeah.
And then you look behind. There's about 500
Making up
toys.
for lost time here,
I
yeah?
think I brought this up in the 96 podcast. I was just told you can't have toys going into secondary school. So I stopped playing
Watch
with
me.
toys, and it was great. Fucking Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's all I can remember. I don't know.
Sure.
Anything too significant.
What about you, Circa 1995? Anything stands out?
1995. So I'd actually chosen 96.
Uh-huh.
That was my year.
that was.
Aye, that's so 95 would have been I would have been 15, and
Tit.
so that was a really important year actually, because I remember that was I think it was in 3rd year, and I also like Denzel. I also never fit in school. I was always a weirdo of various hues, and so but
I'm
3rd year.
shocked.
I know. I am so ordinary now, but 3rd year was the year that I'd gone off to the Gaeltacht in the summer before, and I'd made friends at my school. So we all kind of, and we were all in similar classes in school, and
You met your people.
I met my people.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and it was the first time that I remember, and I had friends from drama, and friends from drama were in school as well. So it was like this whole kind of, I discovered I had a personality, which was
Okay.
Who knew?
that was very new. And before that, I was just the weirdo. So yeah, no, it was a good year.
Lovely.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I do remember Bill Clinton coming to Derry. And then he was talking about there was some guy Denzil as well, who was coming as well, but
Seismic.
didn't
Yeah.
meet him for a few years after that.
Was this a premonition? Was this a story of a time traveller that
That's-
you heard?
So there is a suspicion, right, Sean, that
We're not supposed to.
both Denzil and his extraordinarily beautiful and gifted wife Martha are both vampires.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
It is ridiculous. Seeing photographs from you from like 29 years ago when you met, and now they're vampires.
Yeah.
They don't age.
Yeah.
I have my University of Ulster student card from 1995
No
right
way.
Denzil, that's you!
Long hair.
No!
That's Dan's.
here. Long hair and a
exactly
side
the same.
shave. Hair, very like yours, actually.
Oh my
What a
god.
trend-
what a trendsetter in 1995.
I know. I
But
love that.
ginger in that
That
song.
would still work.
Yeah.
Because Sarko went down to the hairdressers and said,
I love it,
I want
Denzil.
1995 Denzil, please. Hairdresser's like, no more. Set up there, no further for you.
No bother, hi.
Yeah.
I also had, oh my god,
You're
I'm
the
just
tough
actually
person.
thinking I got my first undercut at that summer in 95.
Really?
So that would have been the same.
Weren't we the trendsetters?
You just
Oh
wear.
my god! Destined to meet. That's, yeah.
Even better, I found this as well. So only about 5 years ago, this is like first year in photography in Belfast, which also would have been 95.
Ah, so
We were
this
learning how to do studio lightings. We were just practicing on each other, you know, the other students.
Yeah.
And about 5 years ago, one of the students from back then, not someone I've kept in contact with, but they suddenly, found me and got in contact with me and sent me this photo.
Oh, wow.
There's me in 1995 looking all moody as hell.
So-
You're looking about Michael Hutchison there.
Very.
Yeah.
Everyone says that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of.
You look like you're from a movie or something. Of that.
Well, it's, that's what we were learning, that kind of really dramatic lighting. Yeah.
And of course.
Actually, do you know what? Even more than Michael Hutchins, there's a photo of River Phoenix.
That's
Famous
it.
photo of him in a tuxedo. He's wearing exactly the same glasses, literally separated at birth.
Oh, wow.
That's what I had in my mind actually. That was the picture that I was like, that looks really familiar. Wow.
There you go. And the lock and chain, of course.
Still there? Yeah.
Still there.
1995.
Wow.
Excellent. Love it.
The hair's cool. You could still get that back hair. No?
Yeah.
Easy.
I haven't grown this long in a very long time. Actually, do you know what? During lockdown, I did grow it nearly to that length, and so I shaved it.
You did. That was very cool.
That's right, yeah.
That was a nice fallback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Well,
also.
Yeah.
Once again, see? That's, yeah. Living parallel lives. That's-
I went for a mohawk during
yes, you did.
during lockdown.
Nice.
I don't have much hair on top. It was an awful experiment, which can only be done during lockdown.
Yeah.
Just a mohair.
Lockdown did give a lot of freedom for that sort of thing. You know what? Not a
Worse
lot
it
of
was,
people
like-
leaned into that.
I was working through lockdown. It was as if I was just locked away in the house the whole time. I was out and about in the community, fucking rocking this horrible looking People were thinking, Jesus, is that the new fucking COVID thing there? And I like, does he have COVID? Is that a new symptom? And your hair starts falling out. And, anyway, it
You
wasn't.
should have done a mustache or a mo go, which is a
A mustache, wouldn't that just look like a hetero
Well-
mustache?
Yeah, that's not a look. Yeah, you know,
different
sort of.
hair color, like
I'm acting just one. Oh no.
or a mo go, which is a goatee, but it's a mohawk. So it's just a line down there like that.
That's
a
a
little soul patch.
Yeah.
Ah, soul patch.
I just thought I invented some there.
No,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I love
I
that.
had that at one stage. I had myself a little soul patch.
The two things that Sean thought he invented, the Hitler moustache and a soul.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere. Let's see, Chris.
Who's the time traveller now?
Ah.
So we were chatting about Bill Clinton coming to Derry. What I remember about that is, I remember everybody talking about the CIA being in Derry at the time. Have you any memories of seeing CIA? Because apparently they were lifting up like sewers and drains and like checking things and.
If I'm honest, because of this whole academic year thing,
Ah, you would have been.
I did my foundation course. So in '95, I would have left Derry in June.
Ah.
Finished, went back home to Enniskillen for a bit, and then started in Belfast, also still in '95. So I think Bill Clinton came in November, wasn't it? Yeah. So I would have been up in Belfast. I remember it happening, but I wasn't here.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't there or anything, but I always remember it was just such a big thing at the time.
That was huge.
For me, the big thing at the time was the CIA were in town. It wasn't like fucking Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
It's the CIA. It's people walking around like talking into earpieces and stuff. And, yeah.
Wearing blazers
Wearing blazers.
with the patches on the arms.
You were mistaken them for an English teacher.
Like Jim Belushi. No, I don't know. I don't think I went over. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Were you in town?
I
Trying to get
was meant to be in town,
Again,
but
there?
I for some reason wasn't. But you were supposed to get an invitation, like
I was invite only, was it?
invite only.
Jesus.
And
So
so
they lock off the Guildhall Square.
I was just two dairy
Wide
bouncers.
open.
names on the list.
You're not allowed.
Not getting in with Iron Trainers.
But they probably just put him on the fire truck and make him throw sweets down. Like, I can imagine they just did that.
They should actually aligned it with December and got him to turn on the Christmas lights. When it was there.
And throw the sweets down.
Yeah.
You had about fucking 60 people fighting over a packet of sherbet.
So I didn't go, but I got I still have one of the invites.
So you got an invite and you didn't go? You stood up, Bill Hillary Clinton. Jeez.
Do you know what?
There's a claim to fame.
They were devastated. No, that's it. I was too busy looking for Denzil Browne. That's I heard that he was around.
Oh, that's okay. That's the only way you got out there. You're lucky.
So we had a couple of, just on the lockdown thing again, Denzil and Martha put on the last home bury,
Oh yes.
which was probably one of the best
Legendary.
events I've ever been at in my life. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I did love the attention to detail. Building my own long drop toilet that actually sounded exactly the same as the ones in Glastonbury. I was extremely proud of
That
that.
was amazing. It was amazing.
Incredible.
And the light show that you done?
Oh, Arcadia. Yes.
Arcadia.
It's amazing what you can do with a lump of wood, some Lego figures, and cans of WD-40 and matches.
Yeah.
Huge big light show.
Massive. Terrifyingly brilliant.
It was
Sounds
beautiful.
class.
Oh,
beautiful.
so amazing.
I'm just sitting here figuring out why I didn't get an invite. So let me try
You know
and
what?
go through.
Sorry,
it.
Sean.
I actually
Very limited numbers on lockdown gatherings.
Yeah.
we
It was illegal.
very honoured.
Oh, you're
Illegal
lucky.
to more
You're
than
lucky.
6.
You got out that one.
What do we see what else was
Well,
happening in
see you in the next lockdown.
Absolutely. You'll
Forget
Sean's
forget
first
these two.
stuff.
First in line.
Forget these
First
two.
dibs, Sean. Before we move on to talk about stuff that happened,
Yes.
just a little bit more just about my own experience.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Just, it's been much on my mind over the last couple of weeks. I've been sitting at work going. But yeah, so I mean, obviously, epically, the biggest event in '95 was me meeting Martha, my wife.
Fabulous, Martha.
So that would have been in May, the 9th of May, actually.
Oh.
Because we then got married on the 10th. You know, basically, we've kept the same anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so our wedding anniversary is the 10th of May because that's the day after we met.
Oh wow.
Well, not with that we met, that we got together. We had known each other for a while at that stage.
Yeah.
But I went to a party at a friend up in Rosemount,
Yeah.
Rosemount Avenue. A friend of ours, Jennifer and Pearl.
Hi, Jennifer.
If you're listening,
Pearl.
thank you very much. The greatest party I've ever been to. I met Donal Gallagher, who's still my best friend to this
Donal.
very day.
Oh, he's amazing.
And then only a few minutes later, clapped eyes on Martha for the first ever time.
Wow.
And yeah,
Yeah.
thought she was hugely out of my league, but apparently she fancied me as well, so that's just great.
Whoa!
Hey.
And so would have been, yeah, I mean, there would have been probably a couple of months between that, literally first clapping eyes on each other, and us actually then getting together in May.
Oh.
But yeah, so been together ever since. Absolutely
You're
solid.
soulmates, like
Yeah,
you.
absolute
that's
soulmates.
Yeah,
so-
100%. So that's 95 is just like, whoa, best year.
That's
What's your song?
gorgeous.
What's your Martha's song?
Oh, well, let me see. On the 9th, we went to the Punt Club at the Gidor.
Yes.
Remember? We used to have the
Monday?
£1 in and £1 for a shot of tequila.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so it was like the Monday night, and every student went to that.
Yeah.
And we were all up on the dance floor, loads of us, and then they used to play songs from the Pulp Fiction soundtrack,
Yes.
you know, what stuff that was at the time,
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs soundtrack, and they put on Dusty Springfield, Son of a Preacher Man, and because it was a slow song, everyone who'd been rocking out left, and it was just me and Martha left. And
Oh,
Oh,
so
beautiful.
that's why that's been our song ever since.
lovely.
oh.
Did the DJ put the wee spotlight on you?
That's beautiful.
So gorgeous.
And that's history.
Oh,
Yeah. Find love in the Ecuador dance floor.
Yep.
yeah.
The Dusty Springfield.
There's other places to find it.
Well, the ground was sticky enough. That's it.
No.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
So I would have kind of well, probably I'm gonna I would have gone to the Ecuador upstairs in the Ecuador for the first time that year as well. Very underage. But we had this thing before. Because we both had friends in common or knew similar people, and at once I have what I think is a memory of you and your friends jumping up and down a lot to
House of Pain,
Oasis.
probably.
Yeah.
And being a very big group of lads, being very much jumping up and down.
Jumping up and
Just-
down.
just
It's all we done.
a wild
Even there was
kind of
music.
corner of things and oh god, that's kind of, and I think that was
Yeah.
kind of and I imagine that one of those fellows was you.
There you
Just
go.
how we didn't meet for 25 years.
Yeah. And then you see me jumping around. You went, that's
I went,
the
I
best
know
song.
that's
that, yeah.
I know
That's
that
triggering a
song.
memory.
Wow.
I mean, look how high that guy gets when he jumps. Jesus Christ.
Head through the fucking roof. Actually, in our kitchen, as you all know, our kitchen is so I'm 6'5". Our kitchen's 6'6".
Yeah.
So we have a rule: we're not allowed to play House of Pain because I will jump up.
Or fan here.
Crack your head.
Yeah, I will jump up and end up in the bedroom upstairs, just my head. So why?
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. So why the Ecuador was quite the place that time.
Absolutely, yeah. Let me see. Sandinos didn't exist back then.
No.
My God.
Was there a pub there at all at that time?
Pre-Sandinos?
No,
No,
was that-
not
that
at
was-
all.
that
There
was
was
before-
nothing there.
So that was built as part of the complex for the new bus station, was it?
Let me see. I can't remember. I think the building was there, but it just
Yeah.
It
was
must have been
empty.
too
There was
far
nothing
after
in it.
95 though, would it?
No, I think when I came back, so I went off to Art College Belfast for 3 years.
Right. And
Then
you
we
and
went
Martha
travelling
both-
for a year or so, and then we came back to Derry after that. But yeah, so remember, let me see, underneath what was Leslie House, where I would say I went to art college, it was Beckett's back then, that's now the
Yeah.
Blackbird.
That's
It's
I
right.
worked
Beckett's
in
bar.
Beckett's the year
Did you?
it would have been 97. I worked in Beckett's, that was terrible.
So yeah, that was our quickest place to go for a pint straight after college, downstairs.
Straight on
Here
the
we go.
Beckett's.
Yeah.
There's a gravy bar too, like that.
Yeah. And then what else would have been? So the Dunlow was a popular place to go. Downstairs in Dunlow
Yeah.
was where you find most of the students, and then upstairs in the Gidor, because it was just dirt cheap.
Dirt cheap drink.
What about Bound for Boston? Was that?
Yeah, it would have been there. It would have
Yeah.
been there. Well, we
Because that
would have seen bands there, I guess.
Yeah.
The other place wouldn't have had live music playing.
The Clarendon would have been a thing then too. It would have been.
Clarendon Bar.
Is that what
Oh
you
my
call
god,
it?
remember that now?
Clarendon?
Which has been lying fucking derelict now for
Giant.
how many years?
Oh well, it was Clarendon Street I was living on.
Yeah.
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 That was a big bar.
But that was a
Remember the
teacher's
size
bar.
of it?
Some teachers
That
bar.
was a teacher's bar.
Right.
that's what I remember.
Very academic.
It's very it's a very classy establishment. I know because I started drinking it there in my 20s.
When you were teaching.
Aye.
Alright.
What else? What did you call? What was it? Was it Sugar, the nightclub?
Ah,
Where
yeah.
the Thirsty Goat is now.
Yes.
Sugar was great. At a
It's-
certain age. Or a certain decade of ages. Yeah.
I do. Well, I mean,
Yes.
other students would suggest nights out, and me and my friends would kind of go, all right, well, we all want to be together, so we'll go. But it was the kind of place at that time where a group of women would hear Wakefield come on and plant their handbags down on the dance floor and dance around them. It's like, this is not for me. This is not my crowd.
It wasn't Sugar, it was Squires.
Squires.
It was Squires.
Yes,
Squires,
Squires,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar was much classier.
Yeah. So the kind of places I was going to in 1995,
Yeah.
I would have been up there with the likes of the Guador and Sugar and places like that.
Yeah.
Park Disco. Aherbrack Disco. And sometimes Slack Neil Disco.
Nice. And so were you hiding bottles of cider out in the hedge kind of thing?
Do you know I wasn't even? I didn't drink until I was nearly 18. But all my friends were hiding cider and wee naggins of vodka and stuff all around the place. But no, I didn't drink at that time.
Yeah, I do remember a typical carryout at the time would have been 8 cans of Steiger and 20 Lambert and Butler.
For a fiver.
And
For
yeah,
less than a
absolutely.
fiver.
And if you're feeling flush, you might go for LCL pills, which bore the legend "strong in alcohol" right on the label.
Exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was all cider back then, like. Cider and blackcurrant. What the
Cider.
fuck is that about?
I used to drink
Seriously?
that upstairs in the Guador.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Stinking.
What about snake bite and black?
Snake
No,
bite,
do you know what?
snake
No.
bite again.
Well, half beer, so from the taps, half beer, half strongbow, and then a dash, usually a dash of
Blackcurrant.
blackcurrant. We used to call it a purple nasty.
Ah,
That does sound nasty.
do you remember a purple
Yeah.
haze?
Purple haze?
That was a red aftershock and a blue WKD. And it turned purple.
Did they exist in 1995? I think.
Not
No.
95, so
okay.
I'm talking about
yeah,
2000.
Alright.
So when I was drinking, it was cheap as well. Well, it was cheap because all you needed was 2 of those and you were...
Trolley.
Right.
So 2 shots and 2 bottles of blue WKD, that's all you needed back in the day.
As I find
Handy.
that, I think that like, I really feel like that those mid-90s were such a turning point for like so many cultural things. Just because I remember that, do you remember Hooch?
Yes.
That was
Yeah,
That was the first of the
first ever
alcohol
It was
pops,
the
alcohol.
first
Yeah.
alcohol
Hooch.
pop, and it was the first, like, you know, so I was into, obviously, politics, and, and debating. Oh my god. And,
Which goes hand in hand with alcopops. As we all know.
and another thing. No, I remember there was some discussion in some class about how they were being marketed to children, and like, so as a 15-year-old, like, you know, kind of like, do you think that these, like, are these attractive to you? Like, do you think that these, you would buy this? And remember, as a, you know, chin
Smoking?
No,
Smoking chin.
You got a
it was
smoking
a
chin.
crazy time, guys. Chin stroking, pretentious 15-year-old. It's going, yeah, well, I do actually think it. I think the fact that there's a frog on it does kind of, like, you know, kind of make children think that they can drink. Oh,
Oh, plus they came in flavours that tasted
Yeah.
like jelly babies.
Yes.
Literally.
And they were
And
quite
the thing was-
Sickeningly sweet.
Aye, and
Yeah.
the thing was, I was in a special kind of like, I was in that special bracket between, like, you know, I was such a swat and such a, yeah, that's in school.
A chin
But
smoker.
I was one of the very few chin smokers. But outside school, I was chin smoking. That's like, and also cigarette smoking. Which was an unusual kind of like combination of things at that stage. So
Lovely.
I feel like I'm revealing too much.
Keep going. This is being recorded.
No!
We're going to use this.
Don't tell my mommy.
What age would you have had your first drink, Denzil?
Let me see. You could, when I was still at Pretoria, still in Enniskillen, you could get into the vintage bars. The vintage bar had a downstairs, but there was no bar at the downstairs, but there was a back door. So you could get in. So you could go in the back door, so you're not seen by the bar people, and you could give you the money for your pint to an older fella at the school. So if I remember correctly, it was £1.40 for a pint of Hart or Smithwick's, £1.30 for a pint of Guinness. This is like
Ooh.
very early 90s. And you'd pay like 5 or 10p extra for them to go and get it for you and bring
They
it
got the
down.
cut out of it.
So easy.
Wow.
And then progressing to drinking Mad Dog 2020 under the bridge before going into the Did not actually discover Buckfast until I was up in Belfast in at least about 96, 97. So 95, had not discovered the Buckfast yet.
So this is a
That's-
beautiful thing that both Denzil and Sarka
Yeah.
share, is their love of Buckfast.
Yes. Yeah.
I've
Supporters of the
What?
Buckfast
Never
Happy
had
Monks.
Right.
It wasn't.
Next lockdown party, round to my house and make somebody.
The buggy.
Denzil has like, it even makes his own Buckfast now. Like,
I like to try my hand at everything.
and it's gorgeous.
Does it taste like wine?
Well, Buckfast itself, it's very sweet.
Yeah.
Very sweet. But it's loaded with caffeine and sugar,
Yes.
which on top of the 15% alcohol,
Yeah.
just it is rocket fuel.
I just imagine it's just like football spice with a bit of cool off in it.
It's not bad, yeah. You're not far off. Slightly thicker. It's got a
Yeah.
slightly thick
Serious.
feel to it.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
shall.
class.
I shall have a taste
Yeah.
sometime.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
soon.
So there was an American wine connoisseur who he was,
If anything concerning Buckfast happens in Buckfast, 26 people send me the video. Anything at all.
it stuck to my nose and I was hit with something I've never experienced before. Barnyardy funk in a bad way, almost like a dead animal in a bird's nest. A mix of flat Coca-Cola and caramel with a whiff of gunmetal.
No? He's onto something there.
I'm not seeing the
I
problem.
can't wait.
I mean, I don't know why I has to say Barnyardy Funk in a band. I'm a country lad. You know, I like nothing better than the smell of silage.
I love a bit of Barnyardy funk.
Hey.
That's
What's
a good
that
name for a band.
molasses type? Yeah.
Barnyardy funk, I would be.
Barnyardy funk.
Barnyard the fun.
Do you know when you're out driving?
Oh, I can really hear some slap bass to that, yeah.
On a summer.
Do you know when you're out driving and there's the smell of somebody spreading manure? And a lot of people will go, oh my god, it's disgusting. I'm like,
It's good for the lungs.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And like, you know, you're driving past a pig farm, pig manure, that is sharp and acrid
that
as
is-
hell. But just normal cow manure?
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
yeah, pig
Yeah, but that-
one's rough.
My granddad used to go, it's good for the lungs.
That's
And we used to yell, so we could live longer. Because we were all chain smokers.
my people.
Hey.
So, Claire, that was also the year that the George Foreman grill came out.
Ah.
Interesting.
1995. But Hulk Hogan was offered the George Foreman grill. He was offered it as to be the Hulk Hogan grill. And he was like, it'll never work, it'll never catch on. And then it went on to
Aww.
brilliant.
Did you know that George Foreman,
Uh-huh.
being a former boxer, he has 3 sons.
Uh-huh.
They're all called George.
No.
That's right. Yeah.
Because he took so many knocks to the head in the ring, he couldn't remember extra names.
No.
Right.
Oh, I'm so glad he
Just
got
a
that
cult of one
grill
George.
money. That's he really deserves
wonder-
that. What? So, but are they called like what?
George 1, George 2, George 3, I don't know.
I wonder if he burns all his meat. Do you know what I mean? He leaves stuff in the George Foreman.
I'd
and
say
he forgets
forgets
about
all
it.
about
it.
He's like, what do
Yeah.
you call my son? And he's all, fuck. And he's sitting there ages. And then he's like, what's that smell?
Does
Oh,
anyone
shit.
else smell burning toast?
Oh shit, I've just burned George.
I've got a George downstairs.
Do you know, we got one at home a few years ago, and my dad couldn't remember the name of it, but he loved getting a toasty out of it. And
Yeah.
he'd say, like, he'd go and get the, what do you call it again? The Joe Fraser. Go and get the Joe Fraser. He was another popular boxer at the time. So in our house, it's just called the Joe Fraser grill. Yeah.
That's all I used to use it for, sandwiches.
Brilliant for sandwiches.
I wasn't putting meat in it.
No.
Just sandwiches.
Yeah.
Are you looking for a sponsorship deal
Yeah.
or something? Is that what this is?
It might. No, not at all.
So George, if you're listening, sign us up. Send us some.
We have one at work in the kitchen downstairs. I've never had one at home, but I have discovered if you have leftover pizza,
Yeah.
use something in the sides to hold the grill up slightly so it's not touching the top of the pizza.
Yes.
Ah,
That's interesting.
fantastic.
Oh.
And dip your hand in water
Yeah,
and
because-
splash a little bit of water so
Yeah.
it steams slightly so it doesn't dry the cheese out.
Oh my god, I'm so
Incredible.
hungry right now.
So like I usually do this complicated balancing act with a couple of knives stuck in to hold the top of the grill up. You gotta be careful they don't fall over. I need to bring in some bits of copper piping. I think
I
that'd
was
be
going to
perfect.
say, like, you know, kind of you
Bits of
get
copper
it,
piping. I'll
it's
just keep them in the
line,
cutlery drawer at work. My 2 bits of copper piping sticking inside of the door.
right? Did you see in now. He's not even using cutlery anymore. That's his 2 copper
Copper
plates.
pie.
I seen somebody put a heat. I don't know if it was reheating or tried to cook a pizza in a frying pan before. Did you ever see that shit?
Yeah,
That's what I do.
absolutely. In a
That's
frying
what I do.
pan, same thing. I mean, that's what led me to think that
Put a
George
lid
might
on.
do this.
Yep.
Put a lid on, splash a bit of
Splash
water
bit of water.
on it first,
Oh,
it
yeah.
steams.
Okay, yeah.
It's fantastic.
That's the best.
amazing.
Crispy bottom on the pizza, totally rehydrated cheese layer.
And it's
Beautiful.
Best way
Oh.
to do an omelette too. Steam the fucker.
Uh,
Just don't fry it, and then it's stuck, and you're all, you fucker. Steam it. That blew my mind. Like I would make omelets for in work.
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
But the first time I seen it done, I was just all, oh my god, mind blown. A lid.
Now, what's really cast iron pan? Cast iron pan. They're just fantastic. Once they've built up a bit of a season layer on them, nothing ever sticks.
Is this the
Ooh,
stuff you were
they're
making
fantastic.
back in the 1500s?
Yes.
I mean, no.
1619.
Just like Bruce Campbell, Evil Dead.
This is my boomstick.
What about you're of course a great film lover, Denzil?
Absolutely.
And your film club.
Yes.
Well,
Shameless plug here then. Well, I've been running what I call Shit Film Club for many years just with friends, and we watch the most utterly ludicrous and bizarre films. I've got a list on Letterboxd that I think now totals 230 films.
Wow.
There's some real trash there, but some absolute gold as well. Like some of them are absolutely fantastic. But I'm now starting to do it for the Nerve Centre a couple of times a year, running it as a screening.
I will go to this.
So
Oh, it's class.
let me see. I've run 2 so far. The next one is going to be part of the Foil Film Festival program, which is just going to be
excellent.
fucking fantastic. So that'll probably get me a bit more interest and more people in.
What is some of the gems that you've found?
Well, the first 2 I've shown at this official screening. Frankenhooker,
Okay, yeah.
which is an absolute stone cold
1990?
classic. Yep.
I was on. I actually, that was the last podcast was 1990, and I was going to write that one down, and I just put like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Frankenhooker is
I know.
fantastic.
Sure, but,
Brilliant film. And then at the last one, it was New York Ninja,
okay.
which was shot in I think 1984, but not released until 2017 because it was
Right.
forgotten, abandoned,
Okay.
and so someone found. There's this releasing company called Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah.
And they specialize in finding like really rare and lost movies. They found this literally in a warehouse somewhere,
Wow.
unedited. The dialogue was so shit they had to re-record all of it. So they got loads of like B-movie royalty, like Cynthia Rothrock and Dawn the Dragon Wilson, to do the voiceovers,
Yeah.
and the whole thing has been ADR'd. They literally they didn't know the story. They had to like edit the film themselves and fucking make it up. It's an absolutely incredible piece of filming.
Brilliant.
It's fantastic in every way.
Brilliant.
Have
That
you-
is so clever.
I'm going to say, have you seen? And it's probably a silly question, but have you seen the Basket Case?
Yes, that was
The third
that same director as Frankenhooker.
That third one.
Frank
is
Henenlotter.
Ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
one of the most. It's amazing. Like the third one, it's incredible. The creatures in it. It's
Yeah.
just bizarre.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just love that kind of stop motion animation instead of
Oh,
CGI.
yeah.
I just love that shit. It's
When
great.
Belial gets into the metal,
Yeah.
kind of a wee bit like sort of aliens, and I forget the name of it.
Two other films to look out for by the same director, Frank Henenlotter. He did another one around the same time called Brain Damage. And then more recently, he made a film called Bad Biology.
Okay.
Everything that man has done is gold as far as trash movies concerned.
Might have come because 2 of my friends actually. There's sometimes when we get together, we always get really bad movies. Because I think the next one on the list called Baby Oopsie. And it just looks ridiculous.
I've
Sorry,
never heard of it. You're
Baby,
intriguing
it's
me,
like
my God.
Is it Baby Oopsie? Something like that. And it just looks. I can't wait. It's like a doll. It's like this lady that obviously like repurposes dolls, and she makes one into like a wee baby, and it just ends up being a chainsaw. So you can only imagine.
Yeah.
Have you seen Freaked?
Freaked? Oh God, yes.
Oh my god, that's
Alex Winter and an
Ah.
uncredited performance by Oh, for God's
I
sake.
know,
In Bill and Ted, Alex Winter and
Oh, I
Keanu
told
Reeves.
you, yeah.
Keanu Reeves is in it, but he's wearing a mask,
Right.
basically. He's uncredited.
yeah.
And Bobcat Goldthwait
Ah.
playing someone with a sock puppet as a head. I mean, someone's been filming my dreams again.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
trying to do his voice in Police Academy. Can't do it.
That
That just sounds
was
like
good.
That's
Arnold
not bad.
Schwarzenegger.
was good.
Total Recall again.
Yeah. So what about 1995 movies, Sean? And we'll see if there's any that
Well-
makes the list
Yeah, I'm sure
for the film club.
I wrote it down and I had a wee look.
the 90s was cracker. The 80s and 90s is my favourite 2 decades of film, even though I'm big into my film noir from the 40s, but the 80s and 90s were just gold.
Yeah, especially the mid period of the 90s. So what I noticed was
Shout out,
Seven.
Yeah,
Oh.
David Fincher's first.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Saw that in the cinema and that was just, oh my God.
And what I
The
remember,
atmosphere in that film.
yeah, it's so amazing. Like, I watched it with my brother, and I remember was big in these movies, like, and the whole way through he was saying to me, "You're never going to guess what happens at the end." Like, no. And I went, "That's a head in a box." He's like, "How the fuck did you know that?"
She kept saying, I'm never going to imagine what it is.
Well, standouts for me also 12 Monkeys.
okay,
Terry
yeah.
Gilliam.
Terry
Wow.
Gilliam. Amazing.
To be honest, it had completely slipped my mind. And maybe about a year ago, I suddenly went, "Oh my God, 12 Monkeys!" And I haven't
Yeah.
seen it since it came out. And I
Yeah.
watched it again, and the dystopian vision of Terry Gilliam is incredible, and the performances by Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis are absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
An amazing film.
It was class show.
Aye.
A lot of
I
his
love that
films
movie.
from the 80s and 90s. Like, do you ever see Fisher King?
Yeah.
And then Baron Munchausen
Yeah.
and Time Bandit, stuff
And
like that.
Brazil had the same kind of
Brazil.
dystopian future,
Absolutely.
very claustrophobic atmosphere.
Amazing, amazing films. Very underrated.
Mm.
But do you have anything else there?
Yeah. Another one I specifically remember going to see in the cinema, Strange Days. Did you see that?
Ray Fiennes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
brilliant.
What was that?
Incredible. It's set, I think. When was it? I think actually it's just set in 1999. Set only a little
Well,
bit ahead, I
yeah.
think, of when it was made. But the plot is that it is possible to record real-time experiences from someone's brain patterns, and then you can wear a headset that plays that back. And so people then get like addicted to not living their own experience but just using other people's. But then it goes really fucking dark. Really fucking dark. But yeah, it's Ray Fiennes and
It's been quite a long time since I've seen it, but I remember really.
it's fabulous.
Brilliant.
It's an incredible plot and it's so well shot. So well shot, it's absolutely fantastic. Still stands up to this day. I watched that again quite recently actually.
There's quite a lot of I only wrote like half the films down because there was just too much. Like, have you anything else there?
I just wrote down a few, so there's two
Yeah.
here, just very specifically in my own interest, and some I'll talk about in a minute. But there were two major comic book films.
Okay, yeah.
British comic book films came out that year, and both of them really pissed the fans off. Really pissed the fans of the comic books off, and they like didn't watch them. So do you know what I'm talking about? Get both
I
of
think I
them?
do. So I'll circle around them, right?
Okay.
If I can guess what they are, I'm almost sure I do, and then I'll just rhyme off some of the stuff that was out that year. So there was Dangerous Minds,
Oh yeah.
brilliant.
Spend the
Empire
money.
Records,
Oh.
brilliant. Clueless, Mallrats.
Mallrats, yes.
We
Fabulous.
had, and it's funny when you see all the kind of actors that were quite prominent back in, like Sandra Bullock, Bill Pullman, Keanu Reeves, and also you're going to like a lot of these films. So you have like Hackers, The Net,
Oh yeah.
you had Apollo 13, The Usual Suspects,
Oh.
Casino, Heat. You had big epics like Braveheart. Braveheart.
Yeah.
Rob Roy.
Some great films there.
You had-
Braveheart and Rob Roy were out in the same year, were they?
Yeah. You had, I love this one, Money Train. Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes team up. Quick and the Dead, Cutthroat Island.
Oh my god, that was Sam Raimi directed a western. Yeah, that was
That's-
epic.
That's a great
Absolutely
Sharon
brilliant.
Stone.
Yeah,
Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, the sequel.
the second one, yeah.
Judge Dredd, sorry, was that one of them? Oh, I thought, we'll come back. I thought it was, I have two more here and I thought it was
Yeah.
the ones, but I won't mention them anyway. You Get Shorty, Bad Boys. You had Waterworld.
Yes, which was such a huge flop. It was supposed to be like the biggest flop in Hollywood history
Yeah.
at the time. It lost so much money compared to its budget because its budget was enormous.
And it was
I fucking love that film.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's great.
Tell me this, have you seen the Ulysses cut?
No.
It is an extended
Oh really?
version where they compiled, the fans did it first, right? They compiled all the extra footage, extra scenes, whatever, and try to make their own. And then the obviously the production company said, "We'll just do it, and we'll like make it better." Honestly, try and get your hands on it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm trying to get it. I've been trying to like get it. And I'll just get through these now because I'm getting bored. We had Die Hard with a Vengeance. Amazing. Love it. You had Babe, Jumanji, Casper, The Brady Bunch. You had the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie with Ivan Ooze. You had big Pixar one, Toy Story.
Yeah.
Oh, Toy Story.
I remember seeing Toy Story in the Dublin Road Cinema in Belfast, and we were late buying tickets, so our seats were like at the absolute front, absolute right hand side, and it was so grotesquely distorted from our perspective. It's just like,
That's the word, the front seat. And then I should have probably done these ones first because they're a bit more. You had Johnny Mnemonic. You had Screamers by Peter Weller, amazing. You had Virtuosity, Crimson Tide, and Devil in a Blue Dress, which was, I'm not mentioning them because Denzil's on the show, but that's 3 Denzel Washington films. Paying extra attention to Devil in a Blue Dress, which is fantastic, like a modern film noir. Fucking brilliant.
Wow.
Yep. So I'll let you.
yeah. Well, those are the two comic book films I mentioned. Was so Judge Dredd was released that year.
That's right.
And so with Stallone playing Dredd, it was a whole big Hollywood thing, but the fans of 2000 AD just absolutely hated it because it wasn't faithful to comics, but more than that, Stallone took his helmet off. And in the comics, it's a whole big thing that Dredd never takes his helmet off, or if his helmet is blowing off him, you see him in the panel from the back. You never see Dredd's face, you only see his chin. And it's 2000 AD has been going since 1977 now. They still have never shown. Yeah, Judge Dredd still features in it every week.
Yeah.
And they have never shown his face.
So was Stallone like, I
His
want
chin.
my face in this movie?
I assume so.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you're going to pay for
I assume so.
To be
And
fair,
so he took that off, and the fans were just outraged. And I to this day have never seen it.
oh really?
I've never seen
Wow.
it. There was another Dredd released
Yeah.
a few years ago, which is
Carl Urban.
fantastic. Watched that, loved it. But I've never
That's-
watched the Stallone Dredd.
Best film I've ever seen in 3D as well.
Yes, the 3D in that with the
Absolutely.
slow motion.
When
scenes.
Lena,
Jesus.
what do you call
Dunham?
it? Lena.
Dunham?
Dunham.
No, Lena. Is it not? No, Lena Dunham's Tiny Furniture. So,
Yeah.
what do you call her? Lena Heatley or something like
We'll go with that.
that. She just that scene where is she in a bath? Or
Yeah,
something
she's in a bath and
and-
watching the water because
Yeah.
she's on that drug which slows down time.
Incredible.
And that is just blew my mind. Because there's not that many films have really been good in 3D in the cinema. It keeps coming in as
Yeah.
a fad for a year or two, and then Hollywood leaves it alone again. And then we're left looking back at films where things go like this at you for absolutely no reason when you're watching it in the normal 2D version 10 years later. The fuck is that?
Do you know what the thing with Judge Dredd is about the Stallone one now? I get mixed up with that and Demolition Man.
Yeah, yes.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
fair
time
enough.
too, aren't they?
Yeah, Demolition Man was 93.
I loved
Wesley
Demolition Man.
Snipes. Demolition Man is one of my favourite
Great
movies
movie.
ever
That's Wes.
made.
Wesley Snipes as well. He's
Yeah.
the bad guy in it.
Yeah.
And because I was
Fantastic.
about to say when we mentioned the Judge Dredd way Stallone, I was about to go cleaning your hallway seashells.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
that's
The
Demolition.
three
Man.
shells.
Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock was the
Yeah.
love interest. That's right.
So what was the other film from?
The other comic was Tank Girl.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Okay.
I See, I have another one here that we forgot. A big film of '95, but let's talk about Tank Girl first.
Okay.
and all.
Yeah, well, Tank Girl again. So I have a few relics here with me that I'll probably start showing. So, Deadline magazine. That's where that was out throughout the 90s. An incredible magazine.
Yeah.
This is where Tank Girl started out.
Oh, no way.
Jimmy Hewlett was working for the magazine. He was the editor. And then in '95, they made a movie. There's a whole write-up about the making of the movie in this episode from 1995.
There's Laurie Petty.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the fans of the comic hated it because it wasn't really true to the original Jimmy Hewlett stuff and the storylines. But looking back on it now, if you kind of forget that it was based on something and just see it as a post-apocalyptic movie, it's bonkers and actually really, really enjoyable.
And it's an adaptation.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't...
See, that's the thing, it must be incredibly difficult to make a comic book movie because you're just going to have people sitting waiting.
Absolutely. Just going, that's not canon.
Yeah, I'm not watching it. No watching it.
But as I say, we were talking about it earlier, I absolutely love the movie. I love it.
I must go back and revisit it. I've got the soundtrack there, an audio cassette.
That's class.
Bought that in 1995. It has a fantastic soundtrack.
I think
Absolutely
I remember
fantastic
that
soundtrack.
was one of the soundtracks that was around. It was like the kind of like the oh yeah, that's actually I listened to the soundtrack of Tank Girl. Heard of it? It's going, yeah, of course I have. I listened to it like 7 times because my cousin's friend has it. No, you don't know them.
That's my favourite album.
It's my entire.
Yeah,
Some
absolutely.
crackers on it.
I mean, it's got Portishead on there, Veruca Salt.
That was it. Yeah. Some really, really cool. And I like what I remember of it. I mean, like you're having that conversation about films, and you know this about me. I don't remember films, so yeah, it's not my thing. But Tank Girl, I remember it being such a huge deal because I was starting to hang around with like Kieran Flanagan and stuff, and like they were all really, really into comics. And so but it was such a big thing that there was a female protagonist.
Yeah.
And it was such a kind of like strong, powerful.
Well, that's just it. I mean, that's what Tank Girl was. Tank Girl was this real riot girl with
Yeah.
that time with Bikini Kill and all those bands.
That was it.
Yeah.
That kind of like that. There was like that kind of thread coming up through it. So that's what I remember about Tank Girl.
I must have a watch. I've never seen Tank
Jumping
Girl.
on a bandwagon. We should watch it.
We should watch it, Sarka. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
let's put that on the very
On
long
it.
list of things that we must watch.
Yeah, if we get a lockdown lasting 10 years, we might get through half of the things that we want to watch. Yeah.
And then like the artist Jamie Hewlett, he's also obviously co-produced the band Gorillaz with Damon Albarn. He was the artist. Not co-produced, he was
created.
They co-created. That's the word.
Oh, so all the
So
animation and stuff that was
That's Jimmy
happening.
Hewlett.
Ah,
and the Tank Girl.
of
Yeah.
course. That's that's aye.
If you go back and look at
Recognise
his
the
original artwork in
style.
Tank Girl, it's the characters of this. It's character.
It's just got there's just
Yeah,
a
it's very
beautiful choppy
distinctive.
style.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing, and I
It's
think
really good.
see all the
Fantastic.
artists who have drawn Tank Girl since I can't look at it. I mean, I can.
I know. I must admit,
enjoy them bits, but
it's
just
Tank Girl
like-
has really taken off. There's
Yeah.
other people like Rufus Dayglow and other artists who've
Rufus
worked on
Dayglow,
it. But it's just if it's not Jimmy Hewlett, I'm just not interested.
Rufus
There was
Dayglow was quite conceptual looking, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It's nice. It's
experimental.
very loose. Yeah.
But some of it I don't like.
Yeah. So media I was enjoying in 1995,
Yes.
apart from films. So Deadline magazine was incredible. It was a mixture of like really hard-hitting comics and interviews with bands, really polemic political articles and things like that. Really good journalism. There has never been a magazine like this since.
When did it
Half
start?
of it is comics. Probably in the late 90s. This is 95. That's probably late enough for
Yeah.
Deadline.
The ads look amazing. I bet you the ads, and like even Wayne
All
Grove
that
and
sort of
back
stuff.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just fantastic. Which is really nice design.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of 90s David Carson inspired choppy design. It's actually quite illegible.
That's great.
That's how you know it's cool.
What else do I have?
Quite a wee collection here, then.
Oh yeah. These are all. So I am an archivist.
Is that what you call
I
it?
prefer that word to hoarder, which is what my wife uses. But yeah, I've got
Don't open that closet.
loads of physical media that goes right back. So, that's 2000 AD from 95.
Wow.
Good old Judge Dredd.
Yo.
And I mean, amazingly, this comic is still being produced weekly.
That's
Since
amazing.
1977.
Holy
That's
shit.
absolutely insane. That they're still
Wow.
coming out with new episodes
That's impressive.
weekly.
That's so cool.
Do you know a couple of years ago, like, and why I say that's impressive is because a couple of years ago I'd heard that the Beano and the Dandy almost got cancelled.
Yeah.
Because it just, nobody was buying comics anymore, but it's
Yeah,
still
well,
in the
the-
shops. It's still in the
Unfortunately,
shops.
like print, I
Yeah.
love print magazines.
Uh-huh.
I have a huge collection of magazines and comics. I basically have
In your
kept
case.
every magazine I've ever bought.
Wow.
And it's now all going on to,
Yeah, digital.
digital. And that's just,
Yeah.
by comparison.
It's not the same, you
Not
can
the same.
touch it
yeah.
and feel it. And
Not the same. I just love that kind of design, magazine design. And you get those different things. So, what else? Judge Dredd magazine with
You.
Bill Clinton.
Hey!
Right on the cover there he
Oh,
is.
for God's sake. And look at him with his smoking chin as well. Look at that.
Yeah. So, but
is
that
beautiful.
this was like a side publication to 2000 AD for older readers.
Yeah.
2000 AD was still aimed at kids. This was aimed at adults and older readers. So it's a bit, grittier, heavier hitting, really interesting illustrations.
Oh,
Oh
that's
my
really
God!
good, like,
There's an article there on Judge Dredd the movie.
Oh, with a mask off.
Yeah,
Oh,
look at that.
dear.
Disgraceful.
He could have been in the CIA that year when he had Bill Clinton. You know, even there.
Do you know, probably
Judge
hardened Bill Clinton meeting George Strait for
Only
coming to
reason-
Northern Ireland. Like, probably a bit of training.
The only reason we didn't notice Judge Dredd in the town that year is because he had his mask off.
Yeah, and who know about it? Yeah, it's totally distinctive. What else did I grab before I left the house? Manga Mania was being published
Okay.
in the 90s. So this would have been the first manga that was published in the UK.
Wow.
You maybe would have been able to see some Japanese imports before that,
Yeah.
but this started up in the very early 90s, and they published the whole of Akira, which took
Okay.
hundreds of episodes. It's like such a long story. And then there's things like Bubblegum Crisis, The Dirty Pair, really early.
Wow.
And they've been advertising all the kind of anime videos and things like that as
Yeah.
well.
Cool.
So still got loads of those on my shelf.
And so is that when you would have started getting into that? That like, yeah, was it coming to Derry and the big smoke? Obviously, like kind of your eyes were opened
Absolutely.
to all the various. Kind of like,
Yeah.
So where would you have got these in Derry in 1995?
I'm trying to think if... Do you remember on Shipkey Street, there used to be... I think it was just called Shipkey Books and News.
Shipkey.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Oh, wow.
it was there then.
Jeepers,
It
yeah.
closed about 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and I was devastated. Devastated, because I love a magazine shop. I love people to go in and just see all sorts of random, really, really niche publications.
Yeah.
There was a fantastic one in Belfast as well, right beside the Art College on the Donegal Pass. It was huge, and I just had the most niche publications you could imagine.
Wow.
Like, what the hell? How many people are actually coming in and buying that magazine? That is so specialist. It's unbelievable. And that's all gone now.
Aye.
You know?
It's just
And here in
weird,
Derry in
aye.
particular, Shipkey Books News was there. Eason's came
Eason's.
along and
Trash.
killed that.
Trash.
Yeah, trash.
Trash
Yeah.
very early
Yeah.
on. The
Had a few comics and things, but yeah, not the same kind of like imported magazines.
Nothing.
And then so Eason's, and now Eason's is gone,
Yeah.
and there is absolutely nowhere.
No.
Only Tesco's is about the only place you can go and buy a magazine. There's
Yeah.
hardly any news agents, hardly any magazine shops that specialise
Yeah.
in just print magazine.
Yeah.
Funny, I
I'm
was in Sainsbury's.
Devastated.
Sainsbury's, and I was walking past, and I just went, and there was a lot of magazines, and I just went, oh, and there was like, the Hornby
Yes.
magazine and stuff, and I got a wee flick through it.
Yeah.
Of a good train, like. It was
Woodworking magazine.
Yeah.
Oh, Router Monthly.
It's like I didn't think this. I remember there was a place on Spencer Road when I was about
Spencer
5,
Road.
6, 7. That around that
Okay,
age, like
yeah,
early
yeah.
90s, and I remember they sold magazines because I used to go down to get the animals at Farthing Wood.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cute.
Loved it.
Love that.
Sometimes you get a VHS with it. It's great.
Classic.
Yeah.
No.
I think I have those somewhere.
And so what else have we got?
So most of those are British publications. I've got a huge collection of British comics from 80s, 80s, 90s. But a few American... I'm not big into American comics, mostly... Well, not the superhero stuff anyway. But there were a few that were on my radar. There was... In Deadline magazine, there was a comic published called Milk and Cheese, which is about these two anthropomorphic milk and cheese characters who are alcoholic, foul-mouthed, violent misfits. And it's great.
Is that like an Adult Swim type thing? I feel like
So that was done by an artist called Evan Dorkin, and then he published his own anthology comic called Dork, which I bought every issue of in the 90s because it was just fantastic. So that's issue 1, that's from 95.
The art's great, that one I have.
Wow.
It's really good,
Really nice.
Yeah. And it is, yes, just very misanthrope. And Lobo, he's a DC character, but a very obscure one.
Right.
Again, extremely violent and graphic. And there was a whole raft of artists who started out 2000 AD and then went over and joined American, like a lot of them went to DC, or some of them went to Image, and some of the other more independent comics. So there's this real serious foundation of British comics artists really shoring up the American comics market in the 90s.
Did you ever think of, like, was that something that you were interested in getting into? Because of, interest in comics and you were in art school.
I can't draw.
I
can't draw, I can't paint.
Finally,
I went to art college
something.
with none of those artistic skills whatsoever. I chose photography.
I think everybody has got a wee bit of art on them. They really do.
Yeah.
And I tend to think that the people that say they can't draw things that interest me more than things that people draw that say they're artists. I'd be like, no, I love that.
I know what you mean. Just like little doodles and illustrations.
It's like, I can't really draw, and then they draw something, oh, that's really fucking good. Oh my god. There's something really unique about that. Like kids drawings. Kids drawings are amazing. You get this like wee insight into their mentality or something. You get like this wee hints of like what's going on in their head. Like the stuff they draw. Did you ever notice like kids?
So there was an incredible art exhibition in Japan. Recent art exhibition. Might even be actually in a zoo.
Yeah.
But basically they have this empty of animals cage. The cage has all sorts of plants, it's like a full cage and all that. And you come in and there are paper and crayons and there's a scanner. And they they have a screen inside and you draw an animal, you scan it, and then it creates articulation points. And animates their animal. And it goes through this... Oh my god, it's fantastic.
That's magical.
Turned up on my Facebook feed a couple of weeks ago and I'm just like, that is incredible. Making children's drawings come to life and cavort around the zoo.
And they probably all have like
their eyes.
5 legs. And
absolutely.
Absolutely. Bizarre, 3 heads. And
there's a bit of software in there that works out where the articulation points are going to be for like the knee and the hip and all that.
That sounds very cool. I like that. I'd love to go on that. We done a wee bit of drawing the other night, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
I bet it was beautiful.
Yeah. We got the colouring pencils out. So that and we you're saying that about like kind of everyone's got a bit of an artist and then like what we both did was as kind of like us as so Fenton started like kind of drawing what was it like. Well,
it was just a wee table with a pint glass on it and my glasses sitting.
Yeah, so it was like a still life. And like you're getting all the angles and you're using a lot of like, it's the rubber, just kind of going, oh no, it's not quite right. I was sitting there just like with like various kind of like just going swirls and whoa, 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 and then joining it up and then like just colouring it in all different colours and it was like afterwards.
It was beautiful.
Was there alcohol?
There wasn't even.
Was there a Buckfast?
No. Buckfast drawing should be a thing.
No, definitely.
Yeah, let's get everybody fucked up.
I'm curious that show together.
You have to draw fast.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's the next plan.
Buckfast drawing. See if you can sell that to the nerve centre. If I could do it, see if I could get any idea. Let's get everybody fucked up in Buckfast. Have them crayons and
I'll put that on for culture night in the library.
Yes!
It's coming up in a few weeks' time.
Yes!
That gotta be even better than that fucking thing you were talking about, the animals drawing. Great, I can just blow that out of the water, man.
Oh, God.
Drunk life drawing? No, that would be mental.
So I have one last publication here from 1995, The Chap magazine, which has been my style bible for many, many years. It started off by two guys in London as basically a joke. They were just harking back to, why don't people dress properly anymore in three-piece suits and leather brogues? And so they made this magazine that shows all these things. So there are articles in here like about dressing for wrestling.
Yeah.
Dressing for wrestling?
Yes, with a photo shoot of fellas in three-piece tweed suits and luchador masks. What else do we have in this particular one? Cooking with your Corby trouser press. So how to make yourself a kipper in the morning without having to actually get out of bed.
Brilliant.
It's fantastic. So it's just
pizza on that.
it's so funny. So funny. And
flicked through it, it's
unbelievably,
amazing.
it's still going.
That
Like you
is
would think this would
Right,
run
incredible.
for 10 issues and then they've worn out the jokes. But it is still being published today and is actually seriously one of the best magazines published in Britain, I think.
That
That's
is-
some gold.
And that's
Fantastic.
high praise from you as well. It's kind of, so it's called The Chap.
The Chap. Look
The
out
Chap.
for it. Their articles are just fantastic.
Amazing.
That's
That's
amazing. Funny, I hate to come back to this, but the movie we missed out on was
Oh, yeah?
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. Yeah.
Batman Forever.
Yeah.
With Jim
I think
Carrey and Tommy
that
Lee
was-
Jones.
I'm
You
talking.
see, I never remember who
Was that with
remember
was
now.
that with Arnold Schwarzenegger as the
Mr. Freeze?
No,
Mr.
so that was
Freeze?
Batman and Robin.
Right.
That was the next
Oh,
one.
that was when Joel Schumacher took
That was
over.
George
Yes.
Clooney.
What's the Penguin?
Batman Returns.
That was Batman Returns.
Danny DeVito.
My favourite Christmas film ever.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Fantastic film, fantastic cast.
It is. It's great.
And it was
Christopher
that good.
Walken. My
Yeah.
God.
And it was that good that they didn't let Tim Burton do the third one. And that's what happened.
Is that what happened?
Batman Forever. Seriously.
There you go.
They said it was too dark. There you go. Silly.
There's another wee movie at that time as well. Michael Collins was out. Is that 95?
Are you sure?
Okay, maybe we're wrong. 96 actually. Okay, yeah. Scratch that.
I looked at some lists and I
What?
don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, I love my movies.
You could be wrong. You could be right.
Yeah, no, I think I'm right.
I've got it downstairs in VHS. I could run down and check it out.
Mick, they're giving up the north. Anyway. Albums of that year?
I was just about to suggest, moving on to albums. Big one. So,
Yeah.
Supergrass, Ash and Coco.
Amazing.
Still got the cassette tape that I bought in 1995.
Yeah.
Right there. Absolutely fantastic album.
Yeah.
I went looking for Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, because I had that. But my daughter's home, and she said that I'd give to her when she left home and took my
That was a huge
Walkman
album.
with her. Well, that was big. It's also, I mean, it's huge. I would still listen to it. It's also a very useful album. My cousin-in-law James calls that album angry period music, and when his wife puts that on, he knows to shut up and be very, very careful. If that's blasting around the house, he's like,
Yeah.
I understand.
and I did always find it incredibly amusing how every single situation that she lists in the song Ironic is
Isn't
not
it
actually an example of irony. They're just a whole collection of bummers. But that possibly means that the entire song is actually one of the greatest pieces of irony ever.
Yes!
Oh, okay.
So maybe Alanis Morissette was playing us all along.
Maybe.
Isn't that ironic?
Yay.
Oh, I see what you thought I did there. No, that wasn't. I don't know why I'm looking at this because I'm not even reading it. I've all my jokes written down here.
What the heck was the best selling song in the UK in 1995?
I know what it was.
Robson and Jerome.
Oh, no, I don't know what it is.
God, you serious?
Unchained Melody.
Unchained
Oh,
Melody.
fuck
Jesus.
Soldier.
Big albums at the time, Oasis, What's the Story, Morning Glory.
Indeed.
Celine Dion, The Colour of My Love. I love a bit of Celine Dion.
You
What
do.
colour is love?
Yeah.
Burgundy.
What colour is Celine Dion's love?
Simply Red.
Black.
There's another one.
This is not the ones I have. Where'd you get all these?
I don't know, where'd you get yours? Oh, did you write down songs?
Oh,
Yeah.
difference between UK and US charts, perhaps?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because you had like No Doubts, Tragic Kingdom, Bjork's Post.
Tricky's Max and Quay. Stunning album.
What was that?
Tricky, Max and Quay.
Trip.
Trip hop.
Okay.
I remember
I will
strictly
95.
that one song from the Trainspotting.
Oh, okay.
I will look that up. I like the sound of that. You had Radiohead the bands. I think you had that.
Indeed.
Hey.
Not the original, but a copied audio tape. Home taping is killing music. Not as much as Spotify is. So this is Radiohead the bands and Pablo Honey on the other side.
Oh,
See?
wow.
Used to be able to fit 2 albums on a single tape back then.
Yeah.
If you had a TDK 90.
That's
Oh, actually, this is Memorex. Memorex DBS 190.
Classic. Yeah.
Chrome dioxide.
So the five biggest songs.
Go for it, Sean.
Because this is a brandy. Have to do this thing. You've got number 5. He always goes 5-1, doesn't
It
he?
is. That's Brandy style.
Anticipation. So Boys the Men. Unbended Knee is number 5.
Unbended.
I only listened to
Unbended
it.
knee. No, on.
Unbended.
Okay.
Unbended
I should have
knee.
just called it a straight
Straight
leg.
leg.
A straight leg.
Number 4, because this goes back to Batman. Seal with Kiss from a Rose. Gorgeous song.
Classic.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolute
Beautiful
melody.
song.
Yeah. I
Um,
remember that upstairs in the
The good order.
good door. Yeah.
And 3 and 2 is interesting because it didn't come up in the albums because the album came out in 94, but these were big hits in 95. Was TLC, so they haven't spot number 2 and number 3 with Waterfalls and Creep,
Oh, so they had two
2 big hits.
big hits.
The 2 biggest hits of that year.
Cool.
And then number 1 again going back to movies, Dangerous Minds. Can anybody guess what it is?
Can't spend most of lives living in this gangster's paradise.
When every
Coolio.
teenage
Coolio.
girl in Thornhill went, I can rap.
Yeah.
That's- yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact for Coolio, he played a gig in Castledare.
Yes, he
Yes.
did.
I do believe that is true.
So apparently they contacted him and they were like, so what do you call, there's a big festival always on in Castledare, I can't remember the name of it now, but they were like, well, contact his people. And apparently Coolio loves just doing, used to love doing obscure gigs. So he was like, tell him I'll definitely do it, I'm just touring Japan at the moment. But on the way back, I'll call the Castledare.
Oh my god.
And he did
Wow.
it. Yeah. And it's just our fellas sitting around the bar going,
That's
"Who's that there?"
fantastic.
Do you think that
You're a
he?
man.
Do you think he plays all his songs and then he does that song at the end or anything? Like how does that work? What other
Gee, I
hits?
wonder what his encore's going to be.
Yeah, it's like
Aye.
because I always wonder.
I'm sure I can find a playlist.
Chin smoking, going, oh, jeepers.
Chin smoking.
Wonder what.
It's those
Coolio.
bands with the one hit. Because I know what was that band that played Stendhal this year? The big band. The Valerie. That song Valerie.
Oh, the Zootons.
Yes.
Zootons.
The Zootons.
So I couldn't
We
even know
had
where Zootons
a
were.
wonderful time
I had
there.
2 albums by the
dancing
Zootons.
at
So apparently they
Certainly
played
did.
that very early on.
Yeah. No, they had plenty of good songs.
But everybody.
Remember, my sister got me into them, and I had 2 albums and CD,
Yeah.
and they're filled with good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't
well,
doubt that they're. I don't personally know any other songs, but I heard they had played that pretty early on. But everybody just stayed and had the crack, which is good. But then that's Stendhal. It's great.
Yeah.
Stendhal,
it,
Everybody's
was,
great.
it was fantastic.
It was absolutely fantastic.
I didn't even see it.
That's, we have,
I was there.
Really?
I was.
We were drinking Buckfast
Yeah.
on the hill,
Couldn't see a thing.
dancing. Yeah.
I just remember Hot Chip were great. That's when that was the part of the night when I was just like, whoa,
Finding your groove.
Hot Chip. Didn't know any other songs either, but it was great.
Well, we'll run through another couple of wee songs in albums in 1995. Left Field, Leftism.
Oh, beautiful.
Belter.
Different Class, Pulp. I fucking
Oh,
love
amazing.
that. Insomniac, Green Day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tragic Kingdom, no doubt. We had
Elastica.
Elastica, is another one.
Love those.
Yeah, and many others. What's Story, Morning Glory, the bands. Melancholy, Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh.
Should be on. Post, Bjork. Yeah, it's quite a lot going on.
Um,
Really My Love, PJ Harvey.
Foo Fighters'
Oh.
first album,
Foo Fighters' first album.
Yes.
self-titled.
Well, I could not have told you what, like, you're asking like the most popular, what was in the charts kind of thing. I could not have told you that because I just have always had this thing where I don't listen to things that are popular.
Yeah.
If something's popular, I'm just immediately suspicious
Yeah.
that has just been had its edge just polished off until it's as palatable as possible from the most amount of people possible, pushed on you by record executives, and I'm just like, So what I was listening to in 1995, it's probably quite different.
Dusty
Dusty Springfield, probably the most mainstream. But Pop Will Eat Itself, who were massive in the 90s and then just totally disappeared. They basically invented their own genre of music. No one else has ever sounded like Pop Will Eat Itself. If you're listening to this podcast or you're on YouTube, go and listen to them. You'll be able to find them on YouTube. Listen to possibly Can You Dig It or Defcon 1. Two of their absolute top
I remember
tracks.
Can You Dig It, alright, yeah.
Yeah. And so they're like referencing loads of comics and music and their own influences, things that they love. With the line Alan Moore knows the score in it. And they were really sample heavy, and it was like somewhere between hip hop, electronic dance music and guitar. It's just seriously. They called it Grebo, was their own genre of music, and no one else has ever
And it was just that one
been
album.
put in that same. No, they had a couple of albums out.
Whoa! Party after the podcast.
Yeah. Love it.
I'm getting this on later. I'm doing some
It's
more.
There we
fantastic.
go.
Pop Will Eat Itself were brilliant, and they had such amazing like marketing and design,
That
like
was
all those
amazing,
logos
yeah.
and things that threw all over their stuff. It's just brilliant. But yep, totally obscure now, disappeared, and big into the KLF at the time.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, the KLF had disappeared by I think 1993. They just all of a sudden left the music industry, deleted all of their albums so you couldn't buy them anymore,
Really?
and just disappeared.
And burned, was that when they burned?
Well, this is after I think just before that they had taken £1 million of their own money. They had global number ones. Like, they must have made a fucking fortune. And then in, I think, 1992, as an art project, because basically they were art terrorists and performers. They were not musicians. They were not in it to be in the music industry. They were just having the crack, basically. They're incredible.
Yeah.
But they just pretty much accidentally happened to have global number one hits. Their music was amazing. And they went to a remote Scottish island in 1992 with £1 million in cash of their own money that they'd made and filmed themselves burning it.
Jesus.
And then they went around showing this film
Yeah.
as an art project, and people were just like, "What the fuck? Why didn't you get the chat? Why didn't you do that?" And they eventually got sick that nobody was getting it. Nobody was getting that money doesn't actually have a value unless you put a value on it. They were just doing this weird artistic thing with it. And so in 1993 they said, right, that's it. We are going to have a moratorium on this for 25 years. We are stopping being the KLF. We are deleting our albums so nobody can buy them. And they just disappeared. And true to their word, not a single word. You could not see their music on YouTube. You couldn't find it in any file sharing system because nobody fucking had it.
Holy shit.
Unless you already owned the album,
Wow.
you could not get it.
Wow.
I mean, in this day and age when music is so prevalent, it's just amazing to think that you could do that.
That's
I know.
You could
extraordinary.
just, as an artist, just suddenly decide, fuck this, I'm done, and none of you are going to buy my music anymore.
Pull
And
the plug.
delete your own back catalogue.
So you're listening to this at the time when you've you've
Yeah, it was around 95 that I kind of discovered them and got into them. Yeah.
So that
But
kind of
they'd
alternative.
already disappeared from the
Yeah.
music scene by that stage.
Amazing. I see therapy there.
I know, I'm so excited.
That was the first band there, so
Oh, was there?
Yeah, down in Dublin.
Northern Ireland thrash
Yeah.
punk. Oh my god.
They're one of my favourite bands.
Yes.
Andy Cairns was the
Good
first famous person I ever met.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Very good.
Cairns.
I had a signature, but I didn't actually meet him.
I've got
A friend of mine went to school
Yeah.
with him in Larne.
Really?
So I had a similar thing. The first time I went down to see Therapy play in Dublin, and the Point as was, and Ash were supporting them,
Oh,
and like
class.
the trend, like oh god, it was such a puke. So I was like, oh yeah, we're like I'm really into Therapy, but like Ash are so mainstream. Oh whatever. But the thing was, we're very similar to them. And,
Yes, we are.
And but the thing about Ash was like, yeah, that's a new girl who'd gone to school with the Ash boys. Yeah. So.
I've seen Ash this year, they're brilliant. I am also going to see Therapy this year for like I don't know, I've seen them quite a lot.
Yeah.
A few years ago they did 21st anniversary of the Trouble Gum album. Basically played all of that live. And they played. The thing is, like, I was unaware. Like, I listened to Therapy back in the day. I have 3 of their albums, and only recently have I discovered they got 10 albums out.
Oh, and they just keep. They're amazing. Like there's no reducive call there or anything. Like the songwriting is still up there. Like it's absolutely phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, I just forgot to keep an eye on them and keep buying albums. I just kept going back to these 3-4 albums that I have and going, God, I love this. Never even thought they were still actually out there.
Oh, it's so good. I got tickets. I'm going to see them in Ulster Hall now in Belfast.
Yeah.
I think it's Ulster Hall. Last time I seen them in Ulster Hall, they were supporting Stranglers. Which that's bad for me. No, it's not bad. It's bad for Stranglers because once I seen them, then I could just go home now.
Yeah,
Therapy.
One
supporting. Stranglers were great to be honest, but oh my god, I used up all my energy for Therapy, and then the Stranglers was just like
nothing left.
It is. But they are incredible band. I love them. As I say, I met Andy Cairns when I was 14. I was so lured. He signed my CD single of Trigger Inside, and I've still got it somewhere. And I put the wee, he doodled, the wee head.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd show you it, but I can't think where
I've got that doodle on the signature as well. That really was his thing. That wee logo. Yeah.
Do you know, guys? I think we're going to have to do a part 2 of.
Is this overextending?
It's overextending.
It's not even Mind the Time anymore. Mind the Time we tried to do the Mind the Time podcast.
I think we're going to have to get you in for a part 2, Denzil. If that's cool with you.
Sounds good to me. I've got plenty still to talk about.
And we'll go again. Yeah, lovely stuff.
I think all the listeners have switched off. I'm sorry, it's probably me.
Not at all.
No.
Sure.
Once you put 10p in me, fucking Duracell battery.
No, this is brilliant. And it's that thing, isn't it, of like I could just listen to what people are interested in and passionate about.
People's passions.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's part of the thing
Love it.
that's another thing that we have in common. It's like I just love listening to people like what they're really about.
Can I say one more thing about Therapy?
No.
Because I just remembered, but my friend David and I, when we went to see Therapy in the Nerve Centre, we got on stage, and at the time, Martin, what's his surname? Remember, he was the 4th member for a period of time. He was there during the Suicide Pact You First album.
That's already like beyond the stage I was still listening to them. You know what I mean?
They had an extra guitarist for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
We got up. He jumped up and said something on his ear, and he was like, "Yeah, it's okay," kind of thing. And me and him jumped up and we sung the backing vocals to Diane.
No way.
Nice.
So Andy Cairns was going Die, and we were going Diane, Diane, until we realised they actually had the mic turned off.
And do you know what?
Andy Cairns, he's not an idiot.
Diane.
Now's not the time to tell you, Sean, your mic's been turned off.
That's the good I just talked Hey, Sean.
So again, we're going to come back to this conversation. Denzil, thanks a million. That was amazing.
Nice one. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
That was beautiful. And thanks again to Sarka for stepping in for our group Andy.
My absolute pleasure.
Lovely. And thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks for listening.
This has been Mind the Time podcast. Tune in again. Check us out on our socials, Facebook, Instagram. We're on YouTube. Check it out. Tell your friends. We love you. Good luck. Bye bye. Thank you very much again, Denzil.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
You're welcome.
Guys.